The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Shut the front door and raise the rent. We're going to have another gap up in the Dow Jones. I think this will be number 7. But how high it'll go, anybody knows. Someone asked me a question by email last night whether this is similar to the tulip bulb mania, and I don't believe it is at all. If you look at, and remember, the tulip bulb mania was in the 1630s, folks, and we didn't have the internet, telephones, electricity, any of those things back in those days. So the amount of information that we got, came by eucalyptus and not by, parchment stuff, not instantaneous like we have now. So if you look at if you see a chart of the tulip bulb thing, it's basically a flagpole up and a flagpole down. And that's actually, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they related this to Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, yesterday hit 14,400 and it broke 2,000 points. It rallied back 1,000 points, right up to an exact 61% retracement to the almost exact tick, and then it broke down again, and it sets up an ABCD structure that should take Bitcoin back down to 8,000, 7,500, and that should be some pretty good support. It's had several really nice ABCD patterns here over the past year, and the thing is that we move so quickly to the upside, there's a possibility that this would be a high for some time. But as John Jameson has pointed out to me and some of the others that have heard his webinar, this is all about blockchain technology and has very little to do with the cryptocurrency. There's actually 1,200 cryptocurrency sites out there where people can actually do the stuff. So we'll see what's happening. Anyway, we'll get on to the first chart. As you can see, it's our DAX. We were looking for a rally in the DAX, and we certainly have it. We haven't completed it yet, but it was up pretty strongly early this morning. Not really strong like we're seeing in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, but we are seeing it pretty strong in the DAX, so we'll keep an eye on that. It does look like it wants to go about another 50 to 100 points higher in the DAX. However, if you take a look here at the FTSE, this is a 4-hour chart. We completed that perfect Gartley yesterday, just spot on. Really couldn't have been any closer. It was just absolutely a perfect ABCD pattern at that 74.70 level. And then, of course, the market broke all the way down to 73.50, and we're just sitting there right now. Whether we're going to go down or not, we'll have to wait and see. Actually, Theresa May is speaking this morning, and that'll probably have some effect on it. But the main thing, I believe, is the British pound is approaching the 61% retracement of the whole move down from the June 27th Brexit date. That's going to be a very, very important spot to look at. And we probably ought to take a look at that just to keep a close eye on it, because it's at the 130, just about 138 level, and we're trading around 134.80 or something like now. So we could easily get to that point. 1 second here, and we'll get it up here, and we'll see what we've got to move, and then we'll go from that level. I'll cover the gold here in just a minute here, because we're at a real critical level in the gold. Folks, we switched over from December now to February gold, and that February gold is February and December are my favorite favorite months of the gold to trade. And I'll tell you, I can remember in 1980, gold was making a high on January 20th of 1980, and we didn't have they don't trade January gold, so February was the spot gold. and it was up. There was a limit was $50. In other words, if it went limit up, it stopped trading, except in the spot month. And February was the spot because it was January 20th, and gold was up $63, $13 higher than the than the rest of the rest of the limits, all the way through all the other contracts, all the way out through 1980 and 1981 were all limit up. And I was, charting. We didn't have the fancy charts that we had now, so I had to do hand charting. And I had been doing a 30-minute chart on gold for quite a while, and I had a beautiful ABCD 3-drive pattern over the last couple of days that was just spot on, sitting there at around 860. And so I said, well, I think I'm just going to go in and sell one here. And so I picked up the phone, and I was at Drexel. We did everything by phone back in those days, and I called New York. And we were Drexel cleared all their trades through the Goldberg brothers, and I got one of the brothers on the line, and I asked him. I said, "How many people are in the pit?" And everything's limit up, folks. This is early in the morning. It's about an hour into the open, and everything is limit up and locked limit up at $50. And I asked him, "How many people are in the pit?" And he said, there's a lot of people in the pit. He said, they're just not doing anything. He said, but the pit is full. And I said, it's limit up in all the options. And no, that is not Goldberg Haymeyer. No, this Goldberg brothers out of New York. Goldberg Haymeyer, Mr. Z, was out of Chicago. And those were the oil people. Those were really soybean oil people and soybeans. But that's who I actually know those fellows, but that's totally different group, spelled differently actually. So we'll see. It was Golberg, Goldberg, not D. There's no D in the Goldbergs from New York. But anyway, the guys were there, and I said, how many people? He said, they're loaded into the pit. And I'm thinking to myself, I said, I'll get right back to you. So I hung up the phone, and I said, why are the people, locked up into the pit like this with everything limit bid and $13 higher? I said, this is not right. And I kept watching. It was trading 861, 862, 861. And I picked up the phone, and I talked to Richie Goldberg, one of the young ones, and I said, Richie, I want to sell a Dees Gold. This is January, and I'm selling a Christmas gold all the way out into December of 1980. It's trading at over $1,000. I think it was around $1,050 an ounce. And so it was about $200 an ounce more than spot. And the reason is that the interest rates were 13%. So I said, sell me a Christmas gold at the market. And I said, and he said, Larry, so you're one of our best customers. He says, don't do that. Don't do that. He says, you're throwing your money away. I said, Richie, how long you been down on the floor? And he said, about 4 months. And I said, Richie, why don't you sell me 2? And he said, well, you smart. And he started with an A and ended in an S. He said, I'll do whatever you want, but you're going to lose your butt on this one. And he gives me a fill. And I said, Richie, buy 2 Christmas gold, limit down. $100. In other words, it'd have to drop $100. And he said, I can't put that order in. I said, you certainly can. I said, it's a valid order. Believe it or not, about 2 hours later, I was filled, limit down. I made $20,000 on that trade. I went out and bought a new car that day. And that was January the 20th of 1980. And that was one of my, that was probably on a contract basis, one of the better. No, the natural gas was bigger than that. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, I'm going to take a quick look here at this gold market. One of our good friends here, Marshall in the den, pointed out that the 1279 level was a beautiful 135 pattern, which in fact it was. We had equal moves coming down. It's very important it holds that 1279. If you bought it there, we're trading at 1281 right now. That's what you'd want to be, you put your stop a buck away or break even. You wouldn't risk any more than that. My personal opinion here, and remember, opinions are like armpits. Everybody has one, and it usually smells. But if you'll take a look at this ABCD structure from October through December, we've got this possible move down here in February gold into the 1260 level. That's only 25 bucks away, folks. And the thing is, if you remember, the last 3 years, 14, 15, and 16, we've made major bottoms in the precious metals during the month of December. Last year, it was right around December 30th, I believe, and the year before, it was around the December 20th. So it's very, very close to looking at something that is pretty important. So I'm just waiting to see if we get that. Oh, we've got a caller here from Tiburon, California. Daryl, are you there?
Yes, sir. Thanks for taking my call. Wanted to see what your thoughts were on NASDAQ after the big move yesterday. And, we can go a little lower to test, or where your levels were.
Well, yesterday we were down about 125 points at one time as the Dow was still going higher. So, like Basil says, it's a bifurcated market. What I'm watching in the NASDAQ is a 382 retracement of the whole move to see if we get to that level. That comes in at around 63.35. I don't know exactly where it's trading at right now, but I believe it's around the 63.35 level if it's any good. But remember, these markets have a tendency to come back really, really quick. And what I would do, I would just wait to see what's going to happen into December 2nd. Daryl, the last day of the month and the last 2 trading days of the month and the first 2 trading days of the next month have a real positive bias due to the influx of money ETFs into mutual funds and stuff like that. So the best time to look at it would be Tuesday or Wednesday. That comes in with the new moon, and also Syzygy, where the Earth is as close to the Earth as it's going to get, and then also the fact that we have Mercury is going retrograde at that time. Norman Winsky is going to be on in just a few minutes, and he'll tell us that. So that's what I'm watching. I watched it last night. And I said, gee, this is a buy down here in the NASDAQ. And, of course, it rallied quite a bit. I didn't do that because I was focusing on the euro, because the euro came down and went exactly to the 61% retracement, went one tick below it, and that was the easy trade, and it's moved almost $800. So I thought that was an easier trade than the NASDAQ. So I'm keep talking, saying a lot of words, but Steve Rhodes is putting in here 93.56, and I would watch that one very, very close.
Thank you.
I hope that helps, and thanks for calling. Is Tiburon up by San Francisco, isn't it?
Yes, sir, Marin County. Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, how did you get any fire up there? Were you okay?
No, sir, we're all good. It's up north, but we should have shorted PG&E on that thing, that PCG. That was the real trade. Anyways, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for calling in. We really appreciate it, Daryl. Have a happy holiday.
You too.
Okay, here we go. There we go. We got moving in here. Just 1 second here. We're talking about the gold market. That's what I'm looking at. By the way, we will have Norm Winsky on here in about 8 minutes, and he's going to go over some of the really important stuff that we have coming in with this new moon coming in here on the 3rd of December. And so we'll watch it very, very closely, as we always do. I wanted to bring up the chart of the natural gas because we've had several requests about that. This is a real interesting one. We had that really strong move, coming off of the 78% retracement. We stopped almost at a double top. Now, what I'm looking at is a potential for two ABCD patterns coming in here at this 3.3, 3.5 level, but I'd like to see a pullback. If it's really bullish, it'll only get down to about 305. We're trading at around 310 right now. That would be the 382 level, but there's also the possibility it could come down one more time to the 295 level, and that would set up that 135 pattern that the Longstreet, Bill and Roy Longstreet really like. So those are the two levels that I'm looking at. Folks, when we get to these levels, the euro is a perfect example. Let me just put this up here for you because I had sent this out relatively early last night, and I wanted the people to to keep an eye on it because it was so right on the money. But when you're trading a level here, I hope that came up. Just a second here. Did it get into the room? Yes, it did. You'll notice here on the euro, we got down to the 118.10. The low was 118.09, and now we're trading at 118.80. So that's a pretty substantial move in the euro. That pretty much validates the fact that those two equal moves that we had between the 14th and the 19th is equal to the 27th and the 30th. So that's time and price coming together. And believe me, at that point there, you've got a contract that's worth $100,000. You don't have to risk more than 20 to 25 pips, which is $200 to $250. That's a really low risk thing to watch at. Oh, it has no euro chart. Let's get it up here. There, now we have one. I think this should do it. Let's see if we can get it up there. There we go. I think we're okay. Now you can see that. Those of you that, are on the 24/7 newsletter stuff, you got that chart about 1 o'clock in the morning right before it hit because we were expecting it to get to that level. And I believe I sent it out when it was 118.30. It was coming down really strong, and it stopped right on the money. It actually surprised me. And but it was right just exactly like it did 3 weeks ago. So I don't know anything different. If the stock market can go up, the euro can go up. Give me a break. I mean, this stock market doesn't want to go down. Someone's asking me a question. The fact is, this morning I got an email from one of my favorite students. They're all favorite, but one who's extremely close to the family. He's almost like a family member now. And he said he threw his hands up. He said, I don't know why I would even try to pick a top. I said, you don't have to. It'll tell you when it's over. The NASDAQ, I think, is over. It basically had that big breakdown. Now, if it takes it all back today, then it's going to be a whole different ball game, and it's acting pretty strong. We're already up 50 handles in the NASDAQ. From the whole thing. We just cleared the 382 level. So my assumption is that it's going to get up probably even higher. So I don't see any reason why it would be any different. That's the bottom line. So just wait till it gives you a pattern. But there's no reason to try to catch a falling knife. That's for sure. Yesterday, if you remember yesterday when the market was breaking, I said, you buy the strong one and sell the weak one. And the NASDAQ kept dropping and the Dow Jones kept going up. That's just right out of Jesse Livermore's book, folks. And, you don't want to, that guy was pretty smart. So things that go up want to continue to go up, and things that went down continue to go down. And that's what happened. Now we're having a rally in the NASDAQ. The 50% retracement of this is right where Steve Rhodes was stalling. That was 63.55, and I see we're trading at 63.43 right now. That's up 40. It's up 52 handles from the bottom, which is quite a bit. And we've got another new highs in the Dow Jones. We've got another new high in the S&P, and this is one of the more bullish days of the month, the last day of the month, and tomorrow. So I wouldn't try to do anything. Find something easy.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have one of our favorite people on the line today. Charlie, are you there? I'm just joking with you, Norm. Norm Winsky, how are you?
Great. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning to you, my friend. And would you please start on? You've got all your charts ready to go, so you're in charge.
Very good, sir. Thank you. All right. I thought we would review. I was on your show last on the 16th of November, and I gave some people some dates and some events to watch for. And let's see, we can learn from studying the past. What might also tells you these patterns repeat, so that might help you make some money in the future. So I talked about the new moon on the weekend of the 17th. The 17th was a Friday, and the new moon occurred, I believe, on a Saturday. And so I talked about, because the new moon was in the sign Scorpio, that's associated with cocoa, hogs, and bonds. Let's see if anything good happened there. So here's your cocoa. There's your date. There's the 20th is Monday. And you came down to a simple trend line there off these bottoms. And you came down and kissed the trend line. If you were on Friday the 17th, you were kind of in the middle. So I would have told you, don't do anything. Let's wait till Monday. And that's when it went down and kissed the bottom of the channel there. And then you could have made a little bit of money. It's not anything really to write home about, but it bounced for a couple of days. And you had a chance to make maybe about 40 points. Is I think about $400 in cocoa, right?
Yep, go ahead. Oh,
okay.
Norm, I got a question. We have a question from one of our folks in here. I don't know if you're going to do this. Are you going to cover the fact that we've got this Mercury retrograde and this lunar stuff come? Okay, good. Go ahead.
I always do the review, and then I talk about what's coming up.
Okay, go right ahead, my friend.
There we go. Here's your hogs. The hogs were, the hogs were coming down into the, that was the new moon, right? New moon. And Scorpio, is associated with the hogs. And you can see the piggies were looking for a trough here. And they got down to here and turned around right on near the 20th, off about a day or so. But the price difference between the low day and our new moon day was very little. It was like, I think it was about 20 points. That's like, 20 cents is, what is that, about, let's see, it was about $80 or something like that. A very small amount of money, Okay, anyway, there's your bonds. Bonds were not good. It was kind of, I wouldn't do anything there because the market was kind of in the middle, whipsawing back and forth. And so guess what? This is not perfect. And that's all. Trading is a process, right? So, you're going to have some trades that aren't good, or occasionally might even have a losing trade,
What?
Yeah.
Now you tell us.
I'm sorry to drop that bomb on you there, Larry.
Go ahead.
It's. I think there's a good analogy between gold mining and trading. This gold mining situation is a little more extreme. I don't know if this has changed with newer technology, but back in the old days, they used to say that you had the average was they went through 100 tons of dirt to get 1 ounce of gold.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a process. So if you want to get the gold in the markets, we can do a lot better than I think. That's a very small percentile of going through all that dirt. I think we could probably do a lot better. Maybe do maybe 70% batting average on these things. Anyway, here's your gold, Larry, and there you made a top there on the right near the new moon.
Yep.
And I mentioned that. Also mentioned, in addition to these specific markets of cocoa, hogs, and bonds, I also said in general, the new moon, full moon, can have an effect on your financials, grains, and precious metals. So covering those too. So there's your gold. And notice that this is pretty neat when I did these charts last night, how that trend line and this trend line crossed right there at the moon point. Mm-hmm. There's your corn. Go ahead. You had a question?
We have a question from one of our listeners. Do you use intermarket relationships like gold to the euro or euro to the yen or anything like that? Okay, just curious.
I'm on the KISS system.
I got it. I understand the KISS. Go right ahead.
There you go. Occam's razor and all that sort of thing. If you know what that is.
Simple solution is the best. Simple.
Absolutely. You start throwing all this other stuff in there. You get two markets, and it looks like they got married, and then next thing you know, it's a Reno divorce. So. All right, Sarah. There you go. So here's corn. Corn, as you can see, narrow range, very tough to make any money in corn for the last several months. But guess what? We were pretty close, about a penny from the top there, right there at the new moon. Okay.
Yep.
Here's your euro. You were just talking about the euro, and the euro had a nice pullback low there and then took off right at the new moon. So you might want to pay attention to these moons. In addition, I have some other things too, but this is nice and simple stuff to show you. You can get a little bit of advantage by watching the lunar cycle.
Yeah, it's only a 14-day cycle. Anybody that can count to 14 should be able to do it, don't you think?
There you go. You can go online and get a free lunar calendar. Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, if it got any better, they'd have to pay you, right? So anyway. The here we had a planetary thing happening. I used what's called the U.S. natal chart based on where the planets were on when the country was founded, I believe, on July the 4th, 1776. And we had a little moderate thing going on here with Jupiter 150 to the U.S. Uranus, and so we'll be looking for a change in trend in a couple of the U.S. markets like stocks, T-bonds, and dollar. And there we go. There's a little pullback low there for the S&P. I'll be talking more about the stock market here in just another minute. Here's then looking at then just past the new moon, a couple of days after the close overnight between the 21st and the 22nd, we had Neptune turn direct. This is going to be the main portion of my. I'm going to be talking about that sort of thing here in just a minute in terms of the stock market. But when the planet, that's one of my top things, Larry, when the planets called the station point because due to relative motion of the Earth to the other planets, it appears, there's your operative word, appears that the planets individually look like they stop their motion and then they reverse the direction. Here's a big concept, a big rule for all this stuff. When the planets change trend, the markets change trend, and that works a high percentage of the time. So Neptune turned to go direct there on the night of the 21st. And there's your, so that would be like the 22nd you'd be looking at. And we're 1 day away from these two topping bars here. I think you called me on last Sunday and asked me what I thought about the oil. And I said, well, it better turn down here pretty quick because the time is running out on this thing, right? And it turned down right there, right?
It sure did.
There you go. So anyway, there's your Jan crude. Yep. Now we're moving ahead here now. And now here's my version of the Bradley model. Now this is some fantastic advancement I've come up with. Notice the blue line, this is all drawn in advance. This is the entire month. I started my November on October 30th because I like to start on a Monday. So that was October 30th. I'm ending November on Friday, December 1. I had this blue line on here in advance. You got this, Larry, with the letter. And so you can see the black bars are the Dow Jones 10-minute bars. And you can see I overlay these as we go. And this is as of last night. And so you can see this worked out pretty well until we got to the red arrow. What's the red arrow? Neptune SD stationary direct. Neptune was turning direct. Is it music time? Okay.
Music time. We got to pay some bills. Stay with us, folks. Norm Winsky of Astro Trend.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking with Norm Winsky of AstroTrend. Norm, you want to go ahead and continue, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So I was showing you how they did this blue line in advance. This is what I call my sort of borrowing from Colonel Sanders. This is my original recipe line. I don't tinker with it. It's the original line. You add up the whole concept, the Bradley model, and what I'm doing here is you assign values to the different planetary events, add up the numbers, plot it on a graph, and you get a forecast. Now, notice how the blue line, I didn't do anything to this all by itself, is calling for a change in trend turn right there, and that's totally independent of the fact that Neptune is turning direct here and the line would turn down. Now that we have that possibility, but also I tell my subscribers, that Neptune, planets turning direct or retrograde, have the potential to be polarity points. In other words, it can invert this energy. So let's see what it looks like if we flip this line from the red arrow forward upside down. We're going to take that segment of this blue line and do a mirror image, flip it upside down. Let's look at the next chart. We had all these blue lines in advance, by the way. All right, there we go. So that worked out pretty well. Here's what you would have done back here. We would monitor these charts, and you made a high here right ahead of just the day before Neptune turned direct, and you see the top there on the Dow? As soon as you took that top out, you're probably going higher, right? So that's it. And then this line would get flipped, So anyway, here's your line, and you can see how that's worked out pretty well. Actually, back here, most of my month, it was kind of in a trading range, but after Neptune turned direct, the market accelerated to the upside. Okay, and this says that we should probably go a little bit higher here into the weekend. And there's good old Mercury retrograde. You see the red arrow there at the end of the chart. That's good old Mercury turning retrograde, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Okay, so we'll be looking for a possible change in trend there. The ideal setup is we want the market to be at some sort of an extreme. So I would prefer to see the market, at least to stay near the highs here or continue higher into the weekend. That would set up a possible trading top. All right, looking ahead here, speaking of Mercury retrograde, we had lots of stuff going on here this weekend. We have a big planetary event with Jupiter is going to be 120 to Neptune. That's an oil event. Jupiter and Neptune is oil, and Jupiter is going to be making a 120-degree angle on Neptune. And Neptune is in the sign of Pisces, which is the sign for oil, and Neptune is the ruling planet for Pisces and oil. So it's a double whammy there for oil. Look for something big happening for oil here this weekend. Okay.
And they're meeting in Vienna right now.
they did that without talking to me. I don't know. I just look at the planets. I don't know. You know.
Go ahead.
That's cool though. That's cool though, Larry. You pointed that out because I have that happen a lot of times where I come up with these planetary points, and then everybody says, "Oh, look, the news is going along with what you're saying." You know. So, and then here's Mercury retrograde, and that's your grains, okay? And so watch for a change in trend in the grains here over the weekend. Of course, with the full moon, that's also, you look for a change in trend for the grains. And that's going to be, it's not an exact syzygy. It's off by a few hours, misses by a few hours. But we will have the full moon at, the full moon will be at perigee, which is the closest point. We're phasing toward the close syzygy supermoon in about a month, you know, so that'll be, the next one will be really tight, you know.
That'll be after the first of the year.
Right, the weekend of January 1, you know.
Okay.
Anyway, so maybe I can come back and talk about that sometime.
All right, see if we can have you on next year.
What's that?
We'll see if we can have you on once next year.
That'd be great. Okay, so so we got Mercury turning retrograde, full moon, moon's in perigee. That's a combo of three big things. Plus you got this big planetary event, Jupiter 120 to Neptune. So the planets are throwing a big party this weekend, okay? So you want to watch your market, look at your markets, what markets are at an extreme, especially the ones I mentioned here. And there we go. And so any questions? Looks like we got through this pretty quick. So any questions?
No, we've got a question coming in, but it hasn't. They've asked if you could ask a question, but it hasn't come in yet. It's from one of our folks here from the East. If you'll give me a second, it'll come up. Norm, I have a question that people have asked, and that is the planet Mercury, you know, it moves very quickly. It has, what, an 88-day cycle or something like that?
That's correct. From the point of view of the sun,
question.
it's 88 days, right?
Here's the question right now. It says, which markets are forming intermediate change now, right now? And I think you're already saying that it's basically the crude oil market coming in this weekend because of Neptune. And then we've got this big lunar thing coming in on stocks around December 1st, 2nd. Is that correct?
That's correct. Look at your charts. What markets are at an extreme? Are they at the bottom of the channel, at the top of the channel? If they're in the middle, take a pass.
You'd be looking at crude oil and stock indices.
Right,
mainly
if those markets are at an extreme at that time.
Okay.
Then here's a very important and very great principle. The key times will give you the key prices. You don't have to be guessing at what retracement level the market is going to turn at. Wait till you get to these key times. It'll greatly simplify your life. Okay? Sounds good to me. Yeah. So anyway, the time is more important than price. I don't know what you think, Larry, but I'm convinced that
time is the most elusive. That's for sure. Because when it's over, it's over. It doesn't make any difference when the things get a little crazy. So we'll see.
Without time, price is meaningless. Is it a high price? Is it a low price? You don't know without time.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. Anyway, so I'll tell the folks how they can get on board here and learn how to do this. And hopefully it'll help improve their trading. So I've got about 50 years experience studying the market since I was 15 years old. I'm 66 now. I was on the CBOE and Board of Trade floors there for about 12 years. And so I got a little bit of experience. And been doing this stuff a long time. Started doing the astrology when I was in college and was investing in college and making money. I was buying and making money on the long side in a bear market, not recommended. Somehow I got lucky, and did pretty well. And that got enough money so I could buy a seat on the fledgling CBOE for $25,000 in early 1975, Anyway, so get a hold of me here, and I got a free class. I only can do a few people a month. I got a couple people already signed up for next week. And so you need to get a hold of me right away. This is my deadline time. I usually don't come on here because it is my deadline time. So if you could get a hold of me today or tomorrow at the latest, that would be great. So we can get you in the queue there for next week's free class and free letter. You get the free letter, you get the free class. And I'm going to share with you the different techniques and methods that are in my letter, which include Astro, Advanced Fibonacci. I'm going to take you to Fibonacci Graduate School. And fractals, and all this stuff looks complicated. I promise you, there's nothing that I do that a fifth grader can't do. You don't have to be smarter than a fifth grader to do what I'm doing. It looks complicated because it's a lot of foreign stuff that you're not used to. When you get used to it, and it won't take long, you'll be doing this. It's great, and it's much simpler than doing all those all the multiple trend lines, moving averages, oscillators, all that stuff. This is much simpler. It just gives you, here's the key time. You look at the chart. Are you at the high? Are you at the low? And there's a good high probability that the market will reverse at these key times if the market is in the right position. So here's my contact info right here. You got my telephone. I'm in sunny Florida, and 239-594-3939. You can contact me by email, nwinsky@embarkmail.com, and there's my Skype handle is norm.winsky.
One question, Norm. When does
Yes,
Hanukkah start? When does Hanukkah start?
I think that's the night of the 12th.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Listen, we'll have you on soon, and a happy holidays to you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Larry.
Okay, thank you, Norm. Norm Winsky of Astro Trends. We'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's that time of year again. The TFNN Salvation Army Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale is back. Through this Sunday only, you can get a 25% bonus on any Tiger Dollar purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. This sale only comes around once a year and is one of the most rewarding promotions we have. Tiger Dollars are a great way to add extra savings to any TFNN product or service. Whether you're considering signing up for any newsletter or workshop in the future, or you're already a subscriber, Tiger Dollars offer an immediate savings on any TFNN newsletter, webinar, workshop, or Master Trader series. And they never expire and are fully transferable to friends and family. For all the details and to take part in this special promotion, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this sale ends Sunday, December 3rd. And happy holidays from TFNN. Basil Chapman will be hosting a full-day Master Trader class Friday, December 8th from 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. This live 7.5-hour online class will teach you the complete concepts of Basil's Chapman Wave trading methodology, along with a variety of indicators and charting patterns that Basil uses on a daily basis, including the concept of higher peaks and lower troughs, the importance of the peak D, buy and sell modes, sustaining rallies and declines, MACD, stochastic, moving averages, on-balance volume, and much more. Everyone that attends will also receive Basil's CD book introducing the Chapman Wave methodology, a $249 value, along with 1 month of his daily trading newsletter, The Opening Call, a $128 value. Basil will be using live charts where and when possible in the webinar to show the concepts of his trading methodology, which works on all time frames. For all the details and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I think we should put a big feather in the cap of our good friend Steve Rhodes. Right when we were starting the show here this morning at around 7 o'clock, he came out and he said, watch the price of 63.55 in the NASDAQ, and boys and girls, it hit 63.53. Steve, start working on your technique a little bit. I mean, 2 points? Are you kidding me? That's a total of $50. That's unbelievable. It's already trading 20 handles below that. What an incredible number to look at, folks. So this is one of the reasons at TFNN, the trading den here, they've got some really, really smart people We had Marshall buying the gold right off the bottom today. Steve gave us some really good information. Also, Mr. Z was selling the NASDAQ at 63.45. So these folks know what they're doing. They give you some really good information, and it's always good to have some people giving you some ideas, because there's so many things out there to trade that you can certainly use all the help you can get, which is really good. Okay, now what we want to do here is remember tomorrow is going to be Friday. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be here tomorrow. It's Old People's Day. It's time for the old medical examination, so I will be out on Friday. And I will be back with you folks on Monday, but tomorrow will be the usual routine stuff where they poke and stick you and make sure that you're okay. All right, folks, one other thing, keep in mind here, we've made new highs now in the Dow Jones Transportations. We hit that 61% retracement just 7 days ago, and we've already made new highs. That sets up a potential ABCD pattern, even higher. So there's no reason, especially with this tax stuff that's going on out there, to even think about looking to short this market until December 2nd or 3rd, when we have this new moon and all these other astro things coming in with the moon on the equator, and also the fact that we've got Syzygy and the Mercury going retrograde. So that's what it looks like. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.